Congratulations on your new ProSpot i4 resistant spot welder. Let's go over the most important things you'll need to know to get set up and running. First, we'll start with unpacking and inspection, setup and installation, and then the main operations and features of your new i4. Let's get started with unpacking and inspection. The i4 comes on a pallet. It's 40 inches wide, 32 inches deep, and 61 inches tall. The total weight is 373 pounds. The tools you'll need are strap cutters and a Phillips screwdriver or drill. Cut the metal straps. Remove the screws at the bottom where the straps come through. There are 3 on the front and 3 on the back. Inspect the container for any damage that may have occurred during shipping. Remove the lid. Remove the boom that is taped inside the sleeve, along with 2 signs that can be put up in your shop. Then remove the outer sleeve. Cut the 2 straps. Remove the plastic and other packing material while inspecting for any damage that may have occurred during shipping. Then finally remove the welder from the pallet. This can be done several ways, but we find it's best to lift the back of the welder off the pallet first. Unlock the wheels and you're ready for the next step. Okay, so now that we're all unpacked, let's go over our component list to make sure we have everything. In the top compartment here, you'll find a packet. It includes warranty information, a warranty card. You want to make sure you fill that out right away and send it in. You can also register on our website, prospot.com. Safety information, product information, and our user manual. We also have our Weld cable saddle, a cable, the bracket, our accessories kit, which includes extra tips, electrodes, Allen wrenches, and single-sided welding accessories, some test strips, our spot hammer, and our single-sided electrodes. Okay, so now that we know we have everything, let's have Bob take us through the installation process.
Your i4 is liquid cooled, so let's go ahead and remove the back panel to access the coolant tank. So remove our back panel. Here's our empty coolant reservoir. Your machine does not ship with any coolant. So let's go ahead and remove the cap by unscrewing the cap. Pull out the jug a little bit. Go ahead and add our funnel. We get our power cord out of the way here. We want to add 1 gallon of coolant. We want to add an equal part of water. Sometimes you can find a pre-mixed 50-50 mixture of antifreeze coolant at your local auto parts store. So let's go ahead and put our cap back on. We want to kind of twist it up before we go put it on. We can go ahead and put it on our back panel. Let's go ahead and install our air fitting. We'll put some Teflon tape on the air fitting so it doesn't leak. Want to supply a shop air pressure of between 100 and 130 psi to the welder. When you receive your i4 welder, there will not be a plug pre-installed from the factory. We want a licensed electrician to install a 3-phase plug and power source for your welder. In this instance, we have a 208 and to 240 volt model, so we need a 60 amp service. On our end of our power cord, we have 4 wires. We have a green, a black, a red, and a white. On this welder, the white is not a neutral, it is a phase. So you have 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase, and then the ground. We will notice on our name tag here, we actually have the power requirements for this welder. 208 to 240 volts at 60 amp service. Our licensed electrician has installed our power and plug on the end of our power cord. And on this plug, we have our ground and 3 phases. Notice the ground is a little bit different than the 3 phase down here. Let's go ahead and plug in our welder. Notice the 3 red lights on the front panel turn on. Let's go ahead and plug in our air as well. Notice the gauge on the front panel will increase as well. So let's go ahead and install our boom. Go ahead and turn our welder this way. Grab our cable and saddle. Let's go ahead and install our cable on the end of the boom here. The purpose of the saddle is to actually hold the weight of the cable. Okay, let's get familiar with the front panel. Up top we have our main power switch. This turns the welder on and off. Down below we have our phase indicator lights showing we have all 3 phases for power. Down below here we have the pressure gauge for the incoming pressure of the welder. We want to set this to 90 psi. By doing that, we pull the knob out, turn the knob to the desired setting, push the knob back in to lock it. Over here we have our positive and negative cables for our double-sided welding gun, the command cable for our double-sided welding gun, and the air lines that supply pressure to the piston for that gun. And we also have, if your welder is equipped with single-sided welding, we have the positive and negative welding cables for that, the command cable for the single-sided gun, and then down below here we have our water cooling system switch. With the main power switch on, we would turn this on and we would hear the pump running. Down below we have the 2 return lines and feed lines for the cooling to our double-sided gun. Let's turn on our welder and go through the software. This is the main screen when we turn on our i4. A couple different choices here. Let's start with system settings. In here we can change the language we want. We have 5 different languages to choose from. System settings, we can actually see the temperature of the machine at this point. The next 2 settings here are for factory trained technicians, calibration, and current feedback. You can adjust the brightness, increase or decrease the brightness of the display itself, adjust the date and time. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. So back at the main screen, let's start with the pre-weld checklist. In the pre-weld checklist, we have important safety information regarding safety and sparks and so forth. We also have what our electrodes are supposed to look like for good welding. The gap between the electrodes as well. Do we know if we need to replace the electrodes? Important information on what to set the air pressure at. Also gives you good information regarding welding 3 panels of material. Next we have our maintenance schedule. Good information regarding what to check for on a daily, monthly, every 2 months, every 3-month basis. You definitely want to go through this and check everything out. You have different maintenance items, the frequency, and also the notes on what to check. Let's go ahead and skip to the weld screen now. Default password is 0001. We have the ability to actually have 20 different unique logins for this welder, so each technician can have their own login. So we go ahead and 001, go ahead and hit done. Now we're in 2-sided welding. So along the bottom of the screen we have several different weld modes to choose from. High strength steel, mild steel, weld bond, boron steel, a pulse mode, OEM screen for welding instructions, we'll show you that later, and a custom B setting. So within each weld mode, we have 6 different preset programs to choose from. Based on material thickness, we can change our time and current of each weld by pressing the next program button. I've just increased it to 0.2 seconds of a weld time at 7,300 amps. We keep increasing it. We can adjust the time and current. Once we get to the 6th program, to cycle back to the first one, we just hit next program again, and it's back at the lowest setting. Now within each one of these weld modes, we can push the Help Instructions button to learn more about the mode we're actually using. So this has a lot of information regarding what high-strength steel is. Also, we have our quick start spot gun training as well, and we can access it from any one of the help screens in any one of the modes. We can go with the arms electrodes help, shows you the different electrodes, shows you the changing of the arms, the different arms that are available, the longer extension arms. Got to turn the handle to loosen it. The alignment of the electrodes. So you have 3 alignment screws on the head of the welder. We want to have good alignment of the electrodes so we get a good weld. Welder setup, how to weld. We'll go through that kind of more of a hands-on approach later on. So within each one of these modes, we can access this. So we can help instructions. Mild steel shows us mild steel. We can also access the quick start spot gun training as well. Weld bonding. We have our Lord Fuser metal bonding adhesive. Some metal preparation, some product preparation, some assembly, and some technical data as well on that. So as you can see, within each one of these, we can access the help screen and learn more on what we were actually welding. Let's take a look at our OEM screen. We have several different manufacturers' welding instructions. Go ahead and go to Ford just to show you an example. F-150, we have structural identification, repair procedures, different functions regarding that. So let's go ahead and get out of here. So let's go to Custom B mode. Custom B, we can actually adjust some manual settings, different weld programs. Go ahead and do this. We go to the weld log, shows the number of welds for the machine. We can change the mode. We can go to single weld, dual mode, pulse mode. Can't set that. Change the slope of the weld. Also show the temperature of the welder. You can also adjust the time and current for each weld. So right here is 0.17 of a second, and that's 6870 amps.